Hello, I'm Hoden Yosef, and this is my name in sign language. In partnership with the Deaf Culture Centre, I'm conducting interviews with people from every province across Canada to meet with professionals, actors, artists, politicians, advocates, just a wide variety of people. And today we've chosen to meet with you, Camel, as part of our interview series. You are the current president of DYC, the Youth Canada Leadership, but perhaps you can introduce yourself. Certainly. Thanks for having me. Nice to be here. My name is Camel, and I am the Deaf Youth Canada president. And our aim is to encourage and advocate for deaf youth across the country in various aspects that pertain to them. That's great. So on the sheet that I have here, one thing it talks about when you introduce yourself, it asks if you could sort of tell us something funny or unique about yourself, or perhaps something about your background, some past experiences that you could share with us. Sure. When I look at who I am, I realize that I love Hondas. I'm a Honda collector. I am always buying old cars, restoring them to preserve them. All the cars I have are about 20 years old. I like keeping them running, so I guess that's my thing. I really like Hondas. Okay. So I have another question for you. What inspired you the most when you were growing up, to be who you are today? Looking back, I think I really need to thank my former school, the Alberta School for the Deaf. I went there, and a lot of the deaf teachers were incredible role models for me. They really encouraged me and let me know there wasn't anything that I could not do. And that really gave me something to think about. And so when I went to different deaf camps, for example, Camp Mark 7, CDYC, the World Federation of the Deaf Youth section, that really helped me too, because there were a lot of leaders there. And through all of those experiences, I've learned from every one of them. So that's really helped. Okay. And with the work you do now, what motivates you to do that advocacy work? Well, currently I'm focused on the Deaf Youth Canada organization itself. The organization wasn't easy to establish. It's a really complex process in terms of the structure and trying to reach out to youth all across Canada. I mean, Canada's huge. So how do you reach out to all these young people across this country? We want them to grow, and we want the organization to grow. The purpose of the organization is to establish youth advocacy groups for services, for workshops, education, to equal the playing field with their hearing peers. A lot of deaf youth struggle and experience frustration, and they sort of lack direction in their lives. The youth organizations are there to help them. That's our vision. Okay, yeah, that's great. So what do you want or expect viewers to be able to understand from your work? Or how do you want them to be impacted by you? What example do you want to be? Sure. Well, my vision wouldn't be that me specifically, Camel, not me specifically, but rather as a role model to help them to recognize that they too can do things. Using my experiences, I hope to be able to share so that provides them with the skills to encourage them and to learn from it. And the more we share, the more we grow, and the faster they'll get to their goals. I mean, when you think you're the only one, it feels impossible. We need to share our experiences with each other so they learn from it, and that gives them a better opportunity to get there with less frustration. It's like the ripple effect a drop of water can have. The more drips, the faster it fills, having a greater effect. How much water do you need? Well, the more water pouring in, the greater the effect, right? Yeah, perfect. No, that's a clear analogy. Thank you. And I'm wondering, in terms of all your experiences so far and everything that you've gone through, what inspires you, or what are you most proud of? Can you provide an example of some barriers you faced and how you overcame those barriers and persevered? Well, honestly, my parents, who are deaf, who moved here from Poland, they told stories about their experiences with oppression and the things they went through. They encouraged me and told me that I could get through things, even if I experienced discrimination. Compared to what my parents went through, I realized I can overcome any obstacle presented to me, regardless of the type of barrier, whether it's discrimination by the dominant society, being told I can't do things, the delays, the things that I just don't know. But, by being resilient and getting through that, so that I can feel good about what you do know now. Like, don't focus on what you don't know. Make the most of the opportunities that are there. And they encouraged me. So I really have my parents to thank for teaching me. They instilled that in me and made me the person who I am today. That's great. And I'm also then wondering about what advice you might give to our audience in terms of working together. Like, you're as a leader for Deaf Youth Canada. What's most important advice you can impart upon them? Well, honestly, I think I would emphasize that if you're feeling any doubt or that if you feel like you'll get to something later, I would say no, do it now. Start now. But starting now doesn't necessarily mean taking action, but it does mean planning, thinking about what's possible, thinking about what to do in case your plan doesn't work out. What's the backup plan? That kind of strategizing will help you to get there. If you don't have a plan and you just muster through, it's going to make you feel worse. You'll feel insecure, less confident. You need to look within yourself to be resilient. Stand up and persevere. The world keeps going on. It doesn't stop. And if I stop, it gets worse. Well, what motivates or excites you, or what goal do you have? Well, I guess there isn't just one goal. I've got a lot of different goals. But what is exciting is when one reaches it. If you have a goal, and then when you reach it and you set up another goal, then you're always going after something. It's like being able to see when your goal is, like unlocked, right? When you reach that point when you can see that you're there. Whether it's a short-term or long-term goal, it doesn't matter, but it's always important to have a goal in mind. Okay, and can you tell us what sign you hate? Oh, I hate the sign inequity, right? I don't appreciate being left behind. Okay, and what sign is special for you? Something that you can leave us with. Encouragement. To recognize the things we can do to stay positive, keeping that in mind. That would be my favorite. That's great. Thank you so much for having this interview. That's it for now. Yes, thank you. Thanks for having me here. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for the interview.